I'm Terry Phillips, and with me here is Doctor Number 2, Patrick Troughton. Patrick, welcome.
Hello, Terry. Hello.
I suppose we should begin by dispelling a myth that you hate doing interviews. Is that true?
No, it's not that I hate doing interviews, no, and it doesn't worry me at all. But being a character actor, it's a mistake for such an actor to promote their own personality too much because it's counterproductive where their actual work is concerned. They've got to be a sort of nothing, you see, and only come to life where the viewers are concerned as a person in a story. And I think that was the reason, really. If you go on promoting yourself and so on, the audience get to know you too much instead of the people that you're trying to portray. Makes your job harder.
Well, we would like to get to know you a little bit better.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
When you were doing Doctor Who, there's already been a previous one. Was the program very popular at that time?
Yes, it was. Now, Billy had been doing it for 3 years by the time I was asked to do it. I think he was getting tired, and I don't think he was a particularly well man towards the end. He had sort of circulatory trouble or something like that. And I thought that perhaps the program was beginning to be played out a bit. I thought that the joke was beginning to be over. And I was astonished when they asked me to do it. And I thought, oh dear, no, you know, I mean, gosh, to recreate a character like that, it would probably only last about 6 weeks with me anyway, and it's just not worth doing.
And 3 years later?
23 years later, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 3 years after you took it on, were you still astonished that the joke was still going on?
No, I don't think so by then, because it was... it had been very popular with me, luckily. It was with Billy, too. But it was a lovely part. I loved doing it, and the family audience liked me very much in it. And so I regretted leaving very much. But again, it was, you can't stay in one job forever, being a character actor.
You pop in and out of a lot of places, oftentimes unknown, especially unknown to American audiences. Do you like that? Do you like being hidden and yet being there?
Do you mean a lot of parts or a lot of... Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I love it. I love the variety. I've always done wildly different parts. I started in the sort of classical vein with the Bristol Old Vic and then the Robert Donat Company in London and at the Mercury Theatre doing T.S. Eliot plays and all that. And I got a very good grounding and all that sort of thing. But then I got into television, which was the very early days, 1948, when it was all live, you know, terror. And I got a chance up there of playing every sort of part under the sun. Goodies, baddies, costume, modern, everything. And it was a small audience, about 300,000 in those days, only in London. Look at it now, look at it now. And the directors tended to use you a lot because once an actor had done television, they knew the ropes to a certain extent. And a director could rest easy in his mind that at least they'd done it and they knew roughly what was going to happen. They didn't have to tutor somebody else in a new medium, which was completely new. It was a cross between the theatre and film in a way which had never really been attempted before. And it, you know, you needed to do it in order to get relaxed in it. Not that one ever was relaxed in live television. I don't ever remember being relaxed in live television, really. But did 15 years of that.
Do you miss the live aspect?
No, no way, no. No, it's a bit amateur, really, because, you know, you get a camera in, you get a boom in, you actors dry up and have to cut, and then the vision mixer goes crazy upstairs because you don't know where he is, you know. No, it's a bit hit or miss. After all, it's a professional job, and you've got to produce a professional article. And so, although those days are wonderful fun, one was younger and one could cope with it all, it was a little bit hit or miss. But there was some tremendous stuff because, as you know, the adrenaline flows quite considerably when you're doing it like that.
What about the stage? You say you got your beginnings on the classical stage.
Well, I had a long history of being a character actor, playing every sort of part you could possibly imagine. Swashbuckling heroes, lots of Dickens. Oh, things like the dwarf Quilp in the old Curiosity Shop, which was a big success, I'm glad to say, and a part I look back on with great love and excitement. That sort of thing, and wild comedy and baddies I used to play. So I had a long experience of playing every sort of part. And this, as it turned out, was an opportunity to exercise the lighter side, the more mischievous side of my nature, which I grabbed with both hands. To begin with, I was thinking of playing him rather serious and tough, you know. It was very difficult. You see, following Billy, it had never been done before. The whole concept of the Doctor going on was totally new, and nobody knew whether the audience would accept that at all. I mean, just quite a new idea. And so it was, one was jumping in at the deep end, and although one had carte blanche, you could do whatever you liked with it, there had to be continuity. He had to be otherworldly. He comes from another planet. This was the most important thing. And so to begin with, I had all sorts of ideas, like playing a tough sea captain sort of thing, like some of the parts I used to play. Or then I thought, well, when this is all over, I'll have to go back to playing parts in television again, and people will know me as Doctor Who, so what I'll do is black out and put a turban on and big earrings and play it like Conrad Veidt, and that sort of thing. Then when I took it all off, nobody would know, you know, hopefully. But they stamped on that. Their powers that be, they thought it was a very bad idea. And then there was this lovely idea of Sidney Newman's to play him very light, like a sort of Chaplin-esque sort of character, although I hasten to add, without the skill of Mr. Chaplin. He was such a genius of a mime. But that's what Sidney Newman had in mind, and he kept on egging me on to do strange sort of wonderful things in the way of mime, which of course I was incapable of doing really, so I tried to do it all up there in my head. And it was a wonderful relief to play a sort of saucy part, you know, a bit of a bungler, a bit of, or was he, you know, you don't know whether he's bungly or not, or whether he's got his tongue in his cheek, but he's got a real twinkle in his eye. It was a lovely part to live with for 3 years, because it was a happy part, and so one was happy. You can't avoid, you know, it rubbing off when you go home a bit. And I had this young family, and that was lovely too. That kept me in touch with my audience, which, although it was a family show, it was, well, 50% kids. And having kids of sort of, what, 5, 7, and 9, it was, it kept me in touch with the sort of thing that the audience wanted, which was nice.
What about your advice to people who want to go into the acting business? I mean, would you advise it to your children?
Yes, I did. Well, they wanted to, and I had a feeling they'd be good. But when I did it, my dad thought it'd be a good idea if I got my A-levels first. You have O-levels and A-levels
in school.
In my country. Yeah, in school. And the A-levels are sort of the entry exams for university. And so he thought that would be a good idea to have that behind me in case I was no good, you know. And so I did that. And when both the boys wanted to do it, I said, well, you know, get your A-levels first, And then if it doesn't work out for you, you've got something to fall back on. You've got some sort of qualifications.
So you have two sons?
Which they did, yes. Well, I've got more than two sons, but these the acting ones. David, who was, you saw in Doctor Who as King Peladon, and Michael, who hasn't been in Doctor Who, I don't think. Hint, hint. Yeah. Mm.
Now, let's see. You were in the 3 Doctors.
Yes.
And you were in the 5 Doctors.
Yes.
Will there be 6 Doctors that you'll return to again? Can you imagine doing that?
I hope there's going to be an 8 and 9 Doctors. Any luck? I should think so. I mean, new kids are being born all the time, aren't they? So there's no reason why it shouldn't go on forever, really.
So you're looking forward to doing more?
Oh, yes, but not too often. I love doing it for the benefit of the American fans, because not working over here, as a general matter of course, you know, it doesn't type me, you see, and it doesn't inhibit what other parts I play over here. But back in England, it's a mistake for any character actor to become associated too much with one part, obviously. Otherwise, you know, you're stymied, aren't you?
Who was your favorite monster?
Well, yes, my favourite monster. You don't have a favourite monster, really, because they're all very scaring, you see. I acted scared for about 3 years, and in the end, I was really scared myself, I think. I think it's very important to be scared of the monsters, and I think the only criticism one can level at any Doctor Who, and I'm not thinking of anyone particular, is that if they're not scared, genuinely scared of the monster or the menace, then you might as well pack up, because, you know, you take away all the whole sort of point of the story, and you take away from the baddie, and then, you know, the story's over, really. But you've got to be really scared.
And did you...
Boy, was I scared. Didn't like those Cybermen. There was one moment where, I think it was in the tomb of the Cybermen, or it might have been, oh, I can't remember, John, no. Anyway, there was this dormitory. It was a sort of hospital, I think. And unbeknown to the Doctor and his companions, the Cybermen had dissolved all the patients in the beds, and they were all lying in these beds, you see. And at one hideous moment, we were walking down the sort of corridor in between the beds, and suddenly up came the sheet, and this hideous Cyberman was there. And it was the most frightening moment for the kids. I remember them all.
That's pretty scary just listening to it.
It was scary for me, mate. But I like the Yetis. They were very nice and cuddly.
Do you think some of these are too scary for children?
No. I think that what matters is that you shouldn't have familiar objects that turn into monsters. You mustn't have puppets or dolls, or even, I remember rightly, a daffodil, a flower that turned into a creature that, you know, strangled people and so on. I think that's quite wrong. I think that scares kids. I think, you know, they look at their toys sideways, you know, if they've seen one of their, a doll or something come to life and be horrible. I think that's a mistake. But I think, generally speaking, as long as it's fantasy, which it is, and costume, which it is, and make-believe, you know, then it's all right, I think. And as long as the Doctor wins, and they know he's going to win, and he always does, of course, that's all right. I think what's wrong is, for children, is when you've got a modern play in modern dress, and that's when that gets violent. I think that's a pity for kids, because that's real, isn't it? Instead of imaginary. I think the news is ghastly. It's about the most horrific program we have back home, the news.
Here too.
All the kids watch it too.
Now, you also had a reputation for being quite a practical joker on the set.
Well, it used to spill over a bit from the character, yes, at times, yes. Fraser and I got up to quite a few little pranks. Actually, what we did mostly, we played, you know the card game, Aggravation, do you?
Mm-hmm.
We played that, Debbie, I, and Fraser.
Actually, here it's not a card game. The Aggravation that I'm familiar with is a board game.
This is a card game. We play for sixpence.
Ah, okay.
And we used to get down to playing that at 10:15 every morning, and when we were not on the set, we used to play the whole day long, this game, in order to sort of keep our morale up, you know, because it was a very hard job. We were on every Saturday. Not like this lot now, who do it sort of occasionally, you know. But it was weekly rep. We had 2.5 days to do it, and you were on. We had 4 weeks of the summer in August when we could go on holiday and relax and so on. But it was very hard work. And it's, as a result, it's a bit difficult to remember, apart from the fact it's so long ago, details of the various shows. And in the conventions, half the time, I'm asking the audience, you know, whether they know the answer to things. They seem to know more than I do. Because you were like a squirrel on a wheel, and you just got your head down and did it.
Were there times when you just thought, gee, I've had enough with this? And
well, halfway through, we had a problem. Because for the first 1.5 years, we were doing, working all the week. And officially, we were supposed to have our weekends off, Saturday and Sunday. But every other week, and sometimes every week, there was filming, you know, around the countryside, which there was no other time to do. So we found that instead of having a weekend with your family and relaxing and so on, we were working again. And this went on. And after about 1.5 years, Fraser, I, and Debbie, we got together. We had a little sit-down strike. And we said, thus far, no further. We're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to do the filming at weekends. It's not fair. So there was a great hiatus, you know, the planners all up in arms. But we were very lucky. We had a lovely head of series, yes, it's a series, isn't it, in Sean Sutton. And he was right on our side. And we got together, and over a sort of working lunch, we persuaded him, and he agreed to tackle the planners and to have our weekends free. But at the end of each story, of say 4 or 5 weeks, episodes, there would be a week in which we would go away filming with the new director and cast and crew and get that all done before the next story started. But, you see, that meant that Doctor Who had to come off for 1 week because we were on directly. We'd done the show, you see. Although it wasn't live, it was, you know, telerecorded, and we were straight on. And that, of course, the planners simply, that was terror to them, because they sit up in their little offices with their little flags, you see, their little red and blue flags on their little maps. And they've got patterns there which they like. And if you alter that, they don't like that at all. So it meant altering a flag, but we got them to alter a flag, and we got our week off for our filming. So we were very, very grateful to Sean. And that was fine after that. We could relax at the weekends and see something with the kids, you know, and one's wife.
Now, there's talk of another hiatus. I don't know if it's already been decided.
Another hiatus? What was that?
The break, is it 18 months?
Oh, you mean the recent one?
You're right.
Yeah, well, that's not really a hiatus, I don't think. You see, after all, I think that's just a change of policy. Nathan Turner will tell you more about this than I will. I think the powers that be preferred half-hour shows to the longer ones. I may be wrong, but I think that was it, and there was a sudden change of policy. But it's nothing new. You see, after we stopped doing them every Saturday of the year, that chap, John Pertwee, that's it, John Pertwee, he appeared on the scene. And of course, once he appeared, they said, well, we can't have him all the time. You know, he's just got to be on 6 months of the year, because that's quite enough of him. So straight away, there was a great hiatus there, but nobody minded that. And rather naturally, I think, really. Sorry, John, I don't really mean it, you know.
How are actors treated generally in England? I mean, apart from the squabbling that goes on
What squabbling it goes on? What squabbling?
Well, I mean, you know, over money, well, as is the case everywhere.
Squabbling? This is new to me. I don't think actors in England squabble over money. No, no. How are they treated by the audience, you mean?
Well, no, by their employers.
By their employers? Oh, well, it's all regulated by our union, British Actors Equity. So you're treated very well. ITV, being commercial, pays better than BBC. But that's a question of, you know, how much the taxpayer is prepared to pay on the licence fee for the BBC, really. A similar problem that public television has here, handled differently. Yeah. It's amazing to me. I mean, this business of sponsoring, BBC programmes are sponsored already by great, huge firms in the States. You know, there's link-ups in the money and in the budget and so on. So it's already happening. So why the fuss? I just don't know. Oh, there we are. I mustn't meddle in politics, as I was told a little time ago. Given unlimited time, unlimited resources, what would you be doing? You mean if I was rich, you mean? Yeah. If I was rich and rich, well, I'd go on acting, I think, because I love acting. I'd have... I wouldn't act quite so much, perhaps. I'd have more time on my hands. I'd have a lovely garden, a little garden I could work in. And a nice house of my choice, you know, it's not too far in the country, but in the country somewhere. Somewhere which is surrounded by wild creatures. I love butterflies and animals and birds and that sort of thing. That's what I would be doing. I don't really want the sort of material things, other than the things which enable you to enjoy the real things of life, like music. So you've got to have radiograms and all that and so on. And the better they are, the better the music is. That and a motor car, which is a magic carpet, takes you to all these lovely places. But apart from that, not really, no. I'm very happy as long as I'm in lovely countryside. And that's about it, really. Patrick Troughton, it has been a delight chatting with you. Thank you very much. How nice of you. Thank you very much indeed. Bless you. Bye-bye.